To me, these ideas come together in what I call, I'm not going to talk to you about singularity, because I guess all of you know it. I just put the slide in there just to be for completeness. What I'm trying to talk about is what I call the Facebook of the connected mind. And that to me is a concept which I've been playing around and experimenting far more than just what I'm talking about here. If you think about Facebook, if you think about any social network, basically it's a profile, a wall. A wall is a place where you place messages, private messaging where you can upload content and you can share content. The individual is a granular level of a social network. But in future, you could extend that level to neural levels. So essentially, you could extend this idea of the individual, not as an individual, but a brain at a connected level. What do we need to achieve that? Most of it is already there. I think at least 3 or 4 speakers before have said that. Firstly, we need to be able to record brain waves. We need to be able to see brain waves. We need to be able to have a visual representation of brain waves. And share that with others globally and cheaply. Again, this is the Facebook map which was used by you as well in your talk. So I mean, meditation to me becomes a social meditation, a shared hologram. Nice to always include Princess Leia in a talk if you like Star Wars. So I think that to me a meditation would involve a shared hologram, a shared experience which is technologically shared by people all over the world, and it's co-created through a thought wave. And this is exactly what I'm going to talk about in my next couple of slides. And again, I say that this technique exists. Almost everything we need to do this exists. And it's a bit of an Alice in Wonderland world, because I use this emergence and singularity coming together. What I'm trying to say here is that when you bring these things together, you don't know how they will evolve. You don't know the principle of emergence is very sacrosanct in this way. And I think what the previous speaker, the question here from the front about whether these technologies can evolve. And I've been involved in the telecoms industry, and I think where technologies evolve best are through games. And when these new things come along, especially in our industry, we talk about location-based services. And for years, they never took off. And today, we have Foursquare. People voluntarily give up their location. They assign locations to Jimmy Choo shoes, and people can track those shoes because they have location-based services. So in my view, if you convert new developments into games, and this is the answer to the gentleman in the front who asked the question, if you make it into a fun thing, this is how technology will be adopted. It won't be through government, it won't be through very top level, hugely funded projects. It will be through people hacking and playing stuff. And this is a company which actually has such a product. I'm actually working with some of their technology to work with this, and what David said, almost to hack it further. So this is an alchemy visualizer. Basically, it's a headset. The first part of it is a headset like the girl on the left wears. And it basically records your brain waves, and you can see this object, which is your object you're meditating on, and you can it changes depends on how your brain waves are. So the idea is to be able to kind of maintain that in a state. Now, what I'm trying to do is extend this to a group meditation. Very simple extension of an API. The API exists already. And I'm trying to work with this concept to extend this. If a group of people were to come together and were to simultaneously look at this thought form, would they be able to do something with it? Would that be meditation? Because now we have a double wave feedback. We have the recording of the waves, and we have an object which we are collectively trying to meditate or conceptualize. Yeah. So this is the hacking bit which I'm working on, and which kind of even extends what goes beyond the book. Because I talk about it in the book, but I haven't been able to complete what I'm trying to do. So it's a work in progress thing, and I'm looking for guinea pigs, which I will come back to afterwards. Yeah. And the second last slide, or I think that just the conclusion of my talk, is I look at people wearing Lacoste t-shirts, and I love Discovery Channel and stuff like that. I think that why would not a crocodile put a picture of a man on the t-shirt? In other words, crocodiles have been around for 200 million years. Dinosaurs died 65 million years ago. By all rights, a crocodile should have been the dominant life form today. and should have been wearing pictures of us on her t-shirt. So this is my view of why perhaps humanity prevailed, because we have the ability to change, to evolve, to learn, to grow. And this, I think, is the beginning to me. I think I'm very grateful to be invited here, because even in the morning's talks I've learned a lot. I'm very used to attending very complex conferences like Dean and David have as well. So, my final slide is to go back to the past. And I keep coming back because I think that the first in the picture on the left is a meditation called Tummo meditation. It has various other names, but the bottom line is you can raise the temperature of your body by as much as 10 or 20 degrees. People who do that sort of thing. It is proven medically by Harvard researchers and all sorts of people. It is not clear why anybody can do this. It is not clear why somebody can sit there with no clothes and have the temperature voluntarily of their body raised by 10 or 20 degrees. It's an experimental field, but I think it's fascinating. To me, that mystery of what is possible is there. And the second one on the right is the Drakensberg caves of South Africa. That is a shamanic painting, and it's the death of an eland. Eland is a type of deer, and you can see the picture on the right hand side actually has two heads. The dying deer has two heads, and that's because it almost seems to be a spiritual kind of a double life type of place. You could say it is dying, you could say it is going from death to something else. You could say that the people who created that object had a completely different vision of what it was. But to me it's fascinating that 100,000 years ago, 50,000 years ago, our ancestors created that object which still raises questions after thousands of years. To conclude, what I'm trying to say simply is I'm trying to look at meditation from a social, augmented, neural, and meditation perspective. I'm trying to take it beyond what it is currently, looking at it in a transhuman perspective. It's not a mystery. To me, I think the mystery is scientific. Its mystery is what we will be able to achieve through an emergence perspective. That's why to me it's a bit of an Alice in Wonderland world. It's a bit of a beautiful world. And finally, I said I'm looking for guinea pigs. I'm looking for people who are interested to work. I'm not trying to sell you the book at the moment because it does not exist. It's until at least 6 months before it launches in the US first. But what I'm trying to do is extend these ideas beyond there. So extend these ideas of collective meditation using social meditation using essentially what I had here. But in a group perspective. So I'm working with this company trying to work with this idea, and this would be an area for me to contribute to this domain. That is it. I'm quite happy to be in touch with you for any questions and thoughts. Thank you very much.